Protista. They exist all around us. Although we cannot see them, they exist in the vast ocean. They exist in the smallest of species. They produce food for every fish in the sea. They are planktons. That is one example of Protista. They create food for themselves and indirectly to other creatures through photosynthesis, where they grow through the aid of the lights and the chemicals around them. Sometimes other protistas are heterotrophs, where they eat each other, where they eat other species. One of them is the amoeba. These two share the commonality that they exist in liquids. Living protistas can only exist in liquids. Each protista may reproduce asexually, where they replicate themselves, or they produce sexually, where they have a male and a female and reproduce. They are single cellular eukaryotes, where they do have a nucleus, unlike the moneras.
Plantae, or plants, are what we see every day. Even here, all around me, giant beasts rise from the ground. Plants are many celled organisms and are eukaryotic because they have nucleus. They get energy from the sun and other nutrients from their surroundings, such as water, compost, and also other plant food. Most reproduce seeds and flowers, but some are special and reproduce asexually, meaning that they use spores or other limbs to reproduce. Plants rely on their organs to grow. Without the leaves, roots, or the flower, the plant cannot thrive and live longer. So why is the plant kingdom very different from the others? Well, first of all, in the cell, plants have cell walls, they have membrane walls, and also they have chlorophyll, which is not present in any other kingdom. Plantae is also the only kingdom with chlorophyll, which is a very important part of the plantae, because it is the only system where the plants can get their food and nutrients from the sun. It is a system that converts sunlight into chemical energy. They also have the ability to convert CO2 into oxygen, which is what keeps me alive and you too.
Animalia is one of the four kingdoms that is the most common in the world. For example, humans are one type of Animalia. To reproduce, basically it's the same as how humans reproduce. The male cell and the female cell, so they can fuse together and divide and to reproduce. For the food, Animalia is a heterotroph, which means that it basically eats everything in every living thing, like animals, plants, and all sort of living things. The structure of Animalia is basically the same as human cells, but the thing that differentiates the other kingdoms are that it lacks cell walls and they have multiple cells.
Plants, animals, those are some of the living things you can see. But there are also things which we cannot see. Now, representing the prokaryote kingdom is probably the only branch in that kingdom. Monera. The Monera kingdom makes up the only branch of the prokaryote system. Basically, prokaryotes, as stated previously, they don't have a nucleus. And with that, the Monera kingdom are mostly unicellular, meaning they only have one cell in their entire body. They reproduce asexually, meaning that they recreate their own DNA, and then they recreate their own cell, perform mitosis, and they replicate their own DNA, and then yeah, that's how they replicate. Unlike the Animalia kingdom, where they have the 5 stages of reproduction. Also, the modern kingdom is actually autotrophs, meaning that they can create their own food. However, of course, they do need external source. All of the modern kingdom find food in 2 ways: chemosynthesis and photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is not exactly the same as plants, but they do have the chlorophyll in some of them, which enable them to change sunlight into energy. And chemosynthesis is a bit more tricky because it requires inorganic matters such as iron, ammonia, hydrogen sulfate from the outside world for them to absorb and recreate into energy. Yeah. You might not see the modern kingdom in everyday life. However, the most obvious form that they take on would be bacteria. For example, when you go into the bathroom, you can see a lot of Monera here. Because, for example, you have the sink, then you have the urinal, and then you have the wash. I've seen them here.
The closet.
The closet, yeah, and they're full of Monera, or basically bacteria.